Welcome, everyone. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 985. Tonight, I'm going to describe my Monday from the trenches, and then what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, which has changed a little bit. That's why I'm starting a little early tonight, just a little bit, because I got to get up real early, and it's going to be a long day. Windows tips, and some of them are reflected came out while I was solving problems in the trenches. And then two websites, actually one website called 4FNet for gaming. Figured throw that out there when I came across it. And then a product that's free that I'm going to ask for some feedback called Aitum, Aitum. It's a free streaming that works with OBS, and I can broadcast and stream across all the platforms. I want to talk about that for a minute. So let's get started. Early Monday morning, I was woken up for the first call was one of my clients who uses an instant house call sub account for multiple screens, and she couldn't get to the multiple screens. Now, she works from home and uses instant house call every day to remote in to her desktop that's multiple screens, and she only had access to the laptop. She has two external monitors, and they weren't on. I spent almost an hour troubleshooting the multiple screens where I would tell her what to unplug. And it was, I think, such a mess. It was very difficult. But I finally realized it's the docking station. And when you're in a multiple screen scenario and you need to, you need to, hold on a second, I'm going to pause. Hey, Taz, can you take care of this for me in the chat? Thank you. Let's unpause. So what I would do is had her reboot it, basically unplug it after we traced it, and then when took it finally, unplugged it, restarted it, then had her restart the monitors, and finally she was able to move the screens. Because one of the nice things with instant house calls, if you have multiple screens at the one end, no matter how many, you get a separate screen that you can drag over to all of your monitors, and it's just nice being able to flip between all the monitors. So I like that, especially clients that have like 4 monitors. So anyway, took care of that. Then a call right at the same time, literally, and they started just stacking up on Monday. This client, they booted their computer and black screens. And this is the first tip for the night. And what I'm going to do is, oops, I missed that. I shouldn't have. Okay. I have a link that I'm going to put in the show notes for a whole bunch of Windows shortcuts, because I was like, I got to put a link. And so I started searching for the Win Control Shift B. Now I know that it's embedded in my head, and that's where you have to take your left hand and you hold the Windows key, you hold the Control key, and then the Shift key. And then with the right hand, you tap B. That forces a driver refresh. And I'm telling you, most of the time when you have black screens, that fixes it. So that worked. When she hit that, she was like, I can't believe off the top of your head you were able to give me that. And I was like, yep, okay, all good. Boom, on to the next problem. Okay, so now I have a call, and this was easy. This was an easy one where client is out of storage for his Apple iPhone. And so that was easy walking him through the storage and how to add that storage. So that was uh, that was a problem. A slowness problem on a system, and this has been driving me crazy. We were it's a really small micro Dell computer, and this is for an attorney, and we were trying everything. Now this was a nice happy update because I went through, did a deep cleaning, checked the hard drive, we checked the RAM. And I'm throwing this out there because I was wondering if anybody's ever heard of this. She noticed the power cord was half in, half out. Now it powered up, but when she plugged it all the way in, all the slowness went away. So how did it operate? It operated with the power cord half in, half out. When she noticed that and plugged it in, and she was letting me know. So here's another one, an update. And we're getting hit with updates and that are killing systems and really causing a real heartache. And especially when it comes to like graphics drivers. And my client called where her system would not power up, getting the black screen, the Win Control Shift B didn't work. I had to have her pull the power plug. Pulled the power plug, waited, plugged it in, it came up. All right. New client called for their MFA I needed to turn on. And this took a few hours on Monday because it was brutal. Let's just say an older population for the clients, that one person, and he's not that old as I'm thinking about it, he never ever added an app to his iPhone. So I need him to install Microsoft Authenticator so we can set up MFA. And he couldn't download an app. He had to take it to someone else that I had been talking to so they could help him download Authenticator. Then when he downloaded Authenticator, he wasn't following my instructions. I don't know where he went, And this was just a brutal process for just 4 people that took way, way longer than it should have. And I really don't have patience for this. And Mike, and you're like, well, where's your son? Because he has great patience for these things. He's running late because he wasn't feeling good and had a headache. And let me tell you, I was texting him like, I need you to get better. Like, medicate up and join me. It was getting painful. And then now this takes me, into 11 o'clock, where now I have a meeting for cyber compliance assessment. Oh my gosh. So many questions. And let me tell you, if you are using AI and you have a compliance that you must fill out for any kind of cyber insurance or any kind of, you're doing business with someone that they need to make sure that you're compliant with a million things. Just by them now using Copilot, opened up like 30 additional questions for answering. And so we had to go through all that. And some of them were easy. Some of the questions are really made for a company that is significantly bigger, that develops apps, and they don't do that. And so there was a lot of, non-applicable that they had originally filled out, but now they want, even though it's non-applicable, they want an explanation. And it was just, it just took time, and was able to get through all of that. One of our clients has 2 developers that need access to a system through their VPN. And we have the VPN with the Synology device, where I've installed OpenVPN, set up the clients and the access, and now you download the OpenVPN client and you download the config file right from Synology, and then I had to remote into them and then set that up. So that's taken time. Of course, I got notified throughout the day of several, and this is where now Mike Jr. jumped in and was able to help Malwarebytes renewals, because we got to renew them every year. And it's just like they all seem to hit us on Monday. Another small attorney called. They need a Cat 6 connection to another section in the office, and so we had to get our cabling guy and get him scheduled. So that's scheduled for next week. So had that. Here's an outlook, and I know the comment is going to be, why are they using 2010? They're using 2010 because they absolutely, is a very small company, property management company, that they absolutely refuse to go greater than Office 2010. So Outlook 2010 stopped working. It just would open, but they would not get any email or anything. And now I checked. It's a sure web account, so I made sure. One of the first things when you're not receiving things, or did the credit card expire for the billing, for the renewal? Because so check that. That was fine. Everything was working. Everything was up. Their account wasn't locked or anything. I was able to log in as them on the web. So you did all the standard troubleshooting. And then it was like, okay, let's try it in safe mode, because when you launch Outlook in safe mode, that automatically disables all the add-ins. It worked. So there were some add-ins that they did not care about I was able to, once that worked, disabled the add-ins, and bang, just started, everything started working. So was real happy. Now, want to move to yesterday. Yesterday morning, got a call from our dental office where 2 systems, including one of them's their X-ray machine, and I'm by the way, I'm still in the middle of battling this one. I tried everything. The main dental software would run in the background but not launch. We wouldn't get a splash screen. So I contacted the software, which they're very good support. So they remoted in with me on the one workstation. And there were no printers. And they said the software needs at least 1 printer. It could be anything in order to start. Whether they use it or not, you got to have a printer. And I'm like, I didn't know that. This has never been a problem. So first thing you're thinking as you're troubleshooting this with me is there's a problem with the spooler service. There wasn't. And we stopped and started that. We spent multiple hours yesterday trying to get a printer installed, and it would not install. And this was on both systems. So, okay, what update came in and whacked it? So, uninstalled updates, no joy. All right, let's try a restore point from a couple days ago when it was working, because then updates hit, no joy, and that took time. Now, I tried last night using the Windows 11 Update Assistant. It would get 3/4 of the way and then fail. I ran that error through, searching. I'm doing everything humanly possible, and it seems that the print engine of Windows 11 is bad. It's corrupt. And I was like, okay, I even tried, Scan Now, SFC, Scan Now, DisM, did everything. Even downloaded a full image, mounted it, and ran setup, and it would fail at the same point as the update assistant. We've come to the conclusion, and with tech support, I got to re-image them. I got to nuke and pave two systems because of something that happened that killed the print engine for Windows. I have never ran into this, or at least never ran into it where I couldn't fix it. I'm throwing that out there because if anybody has any kind of something for me to try, man, email me, MikeTechShow@gmail.com, because I will absolutely give it a try, because I don't think we're re-imaging them until Monday. So I still have the whole weekend, and I can remote into both systems and do anything. And now I don't care about anything on it, so I'm willing to try pretty much anything to see if I can get this to work. So, and the services work. All right, that was now tomorrow. So I was already planned, and this was scheduled. I'm going to St. Pete, and this is a big condominium, and this is for the property management company that has the staff that manages the property. And the one system at the front desk has multiple monitors where they have 30 cameras separated between both monitors for just viewing everything for the monitors. Now that system's going bad and it needed to be upgraded. So I now have a big computer that was shipped to me from, this is the other MSP that we partner. I take care of his Florida clients. Well, this morning got a call, and this is the same front desk. The computer that he uses that the concierge uses for email and other things, it blue screened, but it can't find the hard drive. So now, at least I tried a couple things thinking maybe it's just Windows and the boot that got, whacked. And so I tried all the repair options, but I cannot nuke and pave this because they have no backup and there are files that they absolutely need. So now, in addition to swapping out the camera system tomorrow, I'm now taking out a hard drive, going to dock it to my laptop and see what I can get for all of the different files. Now, what I might do is, I'm like 45 minutes away. That's not terrible. What I might do is just see if I can bring that back to my house here, to my office here, and work on it. So this way there's no rush. Get all the data, and then take a look at how old is this system. Because we may want to just get them another computer. Because if we want to manage it, we want to control the computers. And that's how this guy who, the MSP up in Philadelphia, he would rather, let's put a new computer there. So I'm tasked with just getting all the data off. So I don't know how long I'm going to be there tomorrow, and I got to get up early and head down there. So that is basically my most of tomorrow as we head into the weekend. Then I got to follow up with my CPA because Sunday, and I haven't heard from him. I submitted all my forms from my bookkeeper and all my stuff for taxes. Now, an interesting thing that I'll throw out there, I had a file separate because my wife is retired and she worked for the IRS. And let me tell you, you can file joint, but a few years ago ran into a problem, and that was a mess. So we decided, let's file separate until she retires. So now she retired. So I'm looking at saving a little money because we can file joint, because being married, filing separate is like the worst condition on for the IRS. So hopefully this will be a little better this year. So what I'm going to demonstrate, and let me I have a few things here. So first, what I'm going to do, I'll show you what I'm doing. Oh, give me a second. Display capture. Okay. So what I want to do is there was a link, keyboard shortcuts. Let me go to notes. So what I do on my remote system here is, that's right. It's this one. Yes. Hold on. Is this, no. Give me, why won't it, okay, I wasn't holding control. There we go. Okay. So I came across this, enabling on the taskbar to be able to end task. So you go to System and then Advanced. So let's go to System and Advanced. Let's go End Task. You know what? It's easier to just type End Task. Enable end, and see how it came right up, enable end task. Okay. To be able to actually, anything running on the toolbar, to be able to end the task by clicking it, just turn that on. And now watch. If I want to close Word, all I have to do is right click and I can end task. And I just ended the task. I know you can go in the process and run, but I found that really, really cool. What if something locked up and you want to end the task? Like right here, I can just, instead of closing settings, we'll pretend that it locked up. I can just, boom, end task. That's just one of those little things I came across that said, ooh, I need that for me, and I'm going to share that. So now, this is the link that's going to be in the show notes for the keyboard shortcuts. And I figured, well, why just have the one shortcut that I was talking about, which was the Windows commands, the Windows shortcuts. This link, open this up, and you're going to find a lot of really cool shortcuts. And this has there the Windows Control Shift B, you know, when to wake up a device. Well, that resets the graphic engine. That's what it should say. But I figured, let me share this because there's so much else. And then while we're doing this, a keyboard went bad. Now, if a keyboard goes bad and you are remoted in, now here I got to type CMD because I just wanted to show this. So you could go OSK, right? OSK. Boom. You can point to the keyboard. So then I was like, well, wait a second. If you can do that with the OSK by typing it, but that means you have to have a keyboard. So now I can, with programs that I use to remote in, I'm able to, send that. But let's go to settings and then accessibility. There's accessibility. And let's get back here. So accessibility, keyboard, and then on screen. So if you only have a mouse, you could come down to where is keyboard, click that, and then on screen keyboard. Boom, there it is. So now you got two ways to do it. If the keyboard's really, and this has happened to me, and I should have thought of that, where if you need a keyboard and the keyboard's not working, but the mouse is, there you go. So very cool. We'll turn that off. And that's a couple of the things that I wanted to show you. And that's like the Windows tips portion. And then what else do I have here? Well, before I get to email, I want to go over two links. And then I have a couple emails I want to cover. So this one is going to be in the show notes, 4fnet.org. I'm not a gamer, but here you can actually download and run, supposedly for free. You can download a lot of games and and run them. And what I figured is let me share that. You can share that with a gamer. And I think there's you can download things that you would normally have to pay in Steam that you'd be able to do it. So now, Aitum multi-stream plugin. It works with OSB, and I downloaded it. I didn't have time to try to integrate it and test, but I would be able to stream. Like right now I'm on Twitch live. I'd be able to go live on Facebook, YouTube. They say TikTok. I mean, all the streaming platforms, all right within OBS, and it's free. Does anybody have any experience or tips on Aitum, this app? If you know anybody who's streaming, or anybody who knows something, I would be really, really appreciative if you could email me, again, miketechshow@gmail.com, and give me a heads up on any of the tips. I would really, really appreciate it. So let's get to some email here. And all right, I have a fun link again that I actually I got the email at the end of the last show and actually put it in there. Okay. This is from and he's like, "Hey Mike, I apologize in advance if this comes off as more aggressive than usual." Never apologize, man. I can take it. Just let me have it. This is you'll hear it's a follow up to like AI and CarPlay and everything. The complete switch from talking about NAD prices to ChatGPT and CarPlay came off as pretty tone deaf. As a techie, I always try to keep up with upcoming tech, but AI is one of those things that I think needs to be kept more in check. I recently wrote an article in which I explain how it's extremely important to tell people why things are becoming more expensive due to AI. There are great uses for LLMs and reasons to burn through the amount of water, electricity, and environmental in general, not to mention stolen creative work, such as curing cancer or other such research. I don't believe that terrible chatbots or having a voice assistant be 5% better in your car is one of them. Something like traffic lights should need no more than a few hundred lines of code to come up with a basic algorithm. There is no reason to make it any more complicated or expensive than that. Well, that's your opinion. I want perfect traffic. I want to drive, and I don't want to, and just doing a little bit of code. No, I want more intelligence behind that. But that's a different debate. Furthermore, the bubble Ponzi scheme that is going on with the AI companies and NVIDIA Oracle should be concerning to anyone, but especially those that have lived through the 2008 housing collapse, as this will be significantly worse. I think finding use cases for local AI to be much more environmentally friendly and can give you, in certain use cases, extremely similar results. Furthermore, I think the degradation in software quality is going to keep making many of the services we rely on become more and more unstable, as we have already witnessed over the past year. I completely agree with you on that. There is not enough testing, and that's companies like Microsoft have cut back on the testing, and it just, shame on them and any product. And especially look at the drivers now, causing so many issues across hardware. It's inexcusable, and and is it going to get worse with AI or better? Can they implement AI for better testing? don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. He continues, to wrap it up, I think it's great technology, but we need to keep some things in mind. Costs and emphasize that to people every time they are purchasing something affected by it. 2, stolen work for training, though that's a lost cause, so I guess try to support publishers when you can. 3, certain things are flat out better without an LLM and just need to have a bit more effort put in. 4, we need way more oversight on these companies. Now, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the plan that hopefully Congress will do their job, and I know that's asking a lot, and further solidify some of the rules for AI and how it's going to be implemented. 5, use local models when you can, or just do something the old-fashioned way. That's not going to happen. It's here, it's going forward, and that's it. 6, stop trying to cram it into wasteful things that are just cool use cases. Okay, I can agree with that. So, yes, I would burn down a rainforest to cure cancer. No, I wouldn't for my grandma to slap a cartoon filter on their photo. Respectfully, I. He's AY. And he's been a long-time listener and contributes. Here's the thing. And just overall, AI is here. It's moving forward. And you either get on it or be run over by it. I'd rather get on it. So 2 companies right now, I'm in the midst of helping them construct. And you'd be okay with this because this is just using AI at their local workstations to help them be more productive at their job, helping them with better Excel spreadsheets. What we're doing is creating an AI policy for those organizations. And in there is included, you cannot load proprietary information for the company into the AI engine that's being run in the cloud. So keep that, so that's something that I can do from my part, and then if it's helping with workflow and automating, that's what I'm doing. Now, I wanted to, when I read, you can have ChatGPT to be able to launch in CarPlay. It was an example of how CarPlay is evolving and moving. And they're just allowing you to use an app that you can talk to and not interfere with your driving. So I could see if I'm trying to solve some quick problems while I'm in the car, I could use ChatGPT to ask for suggestions. Now, one of the things I've had to do this week, and I'm not afraid to, I'm gonna tell you, Perplexity. I subscribed to the Pro version because I started hitting limits. And one of the nice things that I was able to do, and I did this yesterday, I had to figure out what was going on for an email that was going from person A to person B. A had Outlook, B has Gmail. And I needed to go to the Gmail person and I needed to look at the header. And that header was huge. And I took it and I said, let me try something. And I pasted it in Perplexity and it gave me some pretty interesting results. But how can I now explain that? There wasn't an issue, but I needed to explain what's happening with Outlook 365 and how, based on the HTML code that's in what they're forwarding, and depending on the client that's receiving it, there were 2 attachments created. So I needed to explain that. And so I asked Perplexity to take all of my information, all of the results, that I was putting in there that we were going back and forth. And I said, concisely summarize to make it easy to understand from my client. Boom, I got the perfect paragraph that explained it. And I was like, oh, that saved me a ton of time. Put the wording that I needed to explain. And I just wanted to give you one simple example of how I'm using AI for the business to help me resolve. And you can't believe everything. Like if they give you 10 things to try, there might be 4 or 5 of them that you would never want a client to do, or you've already tried them, or that doesn't sound right. You need a human to go over everything and review it. And shame on any company or anybody that goes forward and lets things get released without a human overseeing it and at least doing a review. So on that part, I agree with you. So that I know you didn't say it like that, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents. But please, I'll take any opinions on anything. Let me know. Let me know what you want to hear. Hey, if there's topics within AI that you want to hear, let me know. Email me, miketechshow@gmail.com. I really appreciate it. That's it for tonight's show. I want to thank everybody for downloading and staying subscribed. And remember, you can subscribe to my videos over at YouTube, and that's youtube.com/Michael Smith MTS. Please click subscribe and hit like. I gratefully appreciate it, and especially the subscribers, because at some point I'm going to be able to monetize it when I reach enough subscribers, and I would like to do that. It would really help because, as you know, I have no sponsors. And also because of that, if you feel it in your heart, you learned something, you were able to use it, you liked it, and it helped you out, go to miketechshow.com. There's a donation button. I appreciate all the donations that I receive. And what can I say? Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. Bye-bye, everybody.